Hi, I'm Randall Barney, WTA's Membership Director. We're at IBC speaking with industry executives about the impact and evolution of new technologies in the teleport services and technologies segment.
So yes, Newtec is very focused on various markets. Our Dialog platform is a multi-service platform, so the intent of the platform is obviously to be able to serve multiple markets, but mobility is a very important part of our strategy, and I think in the high-end mobility, where you have very high throughput and data rate requirements and spectral efficiency becomes incredibly important when you're delivering many megabits of capacity to individual vessels. And that's an area where Newtec's just very strong. We've traditionally been very good at developing new modulation encoding schemes, and we help pioneer the DVB-S2X standard. Our Dialog platform is ready for DVB-S2X, and so it's an area where we're very, very focused. What's different is that typically these vessels have a lot of people on board. So, in VSAT typically, in a lot of cases, you have one or two people behind a VSAT, but in a high-end mobility environment, you have, in some cases, thousands of people behind that one VSAT, right? So not only do you have thousands of people, but you've got multiple customers, essentially. On a cruise ship, for example, you could have the gift shops, the crew, the passengers, the officers. Each one of those is a separate network on board, and it has its own security requirements and QoS requirements. So the platform has to be flexible enough to support and manage those different SLAs on a single VSAT. And the aggregate throughput requirements are obviously very large as well. I mean, a cruise ship could have 5,000, 6,000 people, so it's like a floating city. Yeah, so I think some of the challenges are mainly just, it's a very complex product. You're not selling, a commodity that's easy to understand as one-dimensional. You're selling a very complex system. And so the sales cycles are long. You've got to go through evaluations. You've got to go through multiple tests in different environments. And customers have legacy platforms that they need to figure out how to maintain the same business models and the same features that they were already selling on the new platform, and how to transition their customers. So it's a long sales cycle, but I think the good news is that spectral efficiency is one of those things that can make a huge difference to a business model. When you're buying millions of dollars of satellite capacity, if you can improve your efficiency by 15, 20, 30%, it's often becomes a no-brainer, right? I mean, so the cost and the pain of going through a transition is justified easily when you can have that kind of a gain. And I think that's really where we're at. I mean, with DVB-S2X and our latest MX DMA technology, both of which can provide up to 50% improvements, particularly with high-throughput satellites, we see that it'll be an easy business case for most people. It's just a question of going through the steps of planning those transitions and testing things. Well, I think there's kind of two phases of change that are going to happen, right? In the next maybe 1 to 2 years, we're going to see the high-throughput satellite launches like Epic, and that's going to change things, but it's going to be still very familiar to everybody because it is still, bend pipe, it's still GEO, the equipment and antennas and so forth are all compatible, so it's more of an evolution of what we have today. And then obviously, maybe 5 to 7 years down the line, there's going to be another wave with the LEO satellites, which could change everything, right? I mean, it's certainly, they're very ambitious projects, huge constellations, a lot of problems that need to be solved that haven't been solved yet, but they could potentially change everything. So we're following both waves of innovation very closely. We're obviously focused very intensely on the first wave of high-throughput satellites, which are just around the corner. And that's where DVB-S2X is really going to make a big difference with a much wider range of mod cods and wider band transponder support. But we're certainly keeping a close eye on the next wave as well.